Om Gyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yenat Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manokpishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svairupa Kadama Yam Dadati Svapadantikam Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we are about to continue our analysis of this book written by Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, which is called The Art of Studying and Teaching Scriptures. And yesterday and today we discuss this process, 5 stages process, how we are supposed to study scriptures. So this process contains 5 stages: Shravanam, Padhanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, and Kirtanam. So everything starts from Shravanam. We have to, thank you very much, we have to listen, we have to hear this sacred message, spiritual message from someone who is experienced. Then Padhanam goes. Padhanam means that it is not that I should just attend Bhagavad Gita classes or Srimad Bhagavatam classes, but also Padhanam means I have to take book and I have to read by myself also. And I have to, ideally I have to memorize some verses or some key points from this chapter or from this book. And then Mananam, this stage Mananam, this word, this term Mananam comes from Sanskrit word manas. Manas means mind, means I have to engage my mind in this process. I have to recollect what I have read, because sometimes we read the book, then we close the book, and then we cannot memorize what was written in the book. So we have to avoid it somehow. That's why it is recommended to take notes when we read the book or when we listen to the class. We have to take some notes just in order to memorize something. And then, Mananam, we revise what we have memorized. We took some key points and we analyze it. And then 2 last stages are here, and these 2 last stages we are going to discuss today. These 2 last stages are Nididhyasanam and Kirtanam. Nididhyasanam means to reflect and to introspect deeply, and Kirtanam means to speak and to share knowledge with others. Ram Prakash Agarwal, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay, Hare Krishna. Nididhyasana means to reflect, Hare Krishna, to reflect and to introspect deeply. And it means what? It means that we need these purports written by Srila Prabhupada in order to understand the deepness of this spiritual message. Otherwise, if we just read the verses, what we can understand? But by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, because he wrote these purports, now we can understand the deepest meaning of these verses. So Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, in his book, this book, The Art of Studying and Teaching Scriptures, he gives the example of how this Nididhyasanam process can go in wrong way. We have the verse from Bhagavad Gita, verse number 7.7. One moment. 7.7. And in this verse, it is said, let's see what it is said here. Bhagavad Gita 7.7. Matah parataram nanyat kinchit asti dhananjaya mai sarvam idam protam sutre mani gana iva. The translation goes like this: O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. So Gauranga Darshan Prabhu decided, the author of that book, he decided that let me read this verse and then let me ask some experienced people who have some knowledge, let me ask them what is the meaning of this verse. And he was taking his studies at college, and he asked one PhD, what is the meaning of this verse from Bhagavad Gita 7.7? And there is line number 1, Matah Parataram Nanyat, which means there is no truth superior to me, according to this translation given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai! Hare Krishna! Ki Jai! Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai! So this PhD gave another explanation. He told that Parataram Na means there is no superiors, means Parataram Na means there is no difference between me and Krishna, you are Krishna and myself is Krishna, and so on and so on. Parataram Na means there is no superior person. It was the explanation of that person who was PhD, and PhD, it is very serious qualification regarding material education. But as you can see, this material knowledge didn't help person to understand Bhagavad Gita properly, right? Ram Prakash Agarwal, right? Matah Parataram Nanyat means there is no superior truth other than me, Shri Krishna explains here. And in order to understand the meanings of these verses from Bhagavad Gita, we need these purports written by whom? Written by representatives of Shri Guru Parampara. Then this process of nididhyasanam or contemplation on these verses will go in proper way. The same way, we have verse from Bhagavad Gita, verse number 18.55, where it is said, Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavanyaschasmi tatvatara, tato mam tatvato gyatva vishate tadanantaram. So what is the meaning of this verse? The meaning of this verse, Ram Prakash Agarwal, is one can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of me by such devotion, one can enter into the kingdom of God, Vishate tad anantaram. So this last line of this verse, Vishate tad anantaram, can be explained in different ways, in Vaishnava tradition and in impersonalist tradition. Vishate tad anantaram, according to impersonal understanding, means that living entity becomes one with Supreme Brahman. This living entity enters in Supreme Brahman, and then this living entity is about to lose his individuality and to become one with this Supreme Brahman. But Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport to this verse 18.55 that Vishate Tadanantaram should be understood in proper way. One should not mistakenly think that the word Vishate enters into me supports the monist theory that one becomes homogeneous with the impersonal Brahman. No, Vishate means that one can enter into the abode of the Supreme Lord in one's individuality to engage in his association and render service unto him. For instance, a green bird enters a green tree not to become one with the tree, but to enjoy the fruits of the tree. Impersonalists generally give the example of a river flowing into the ocean and merging. This may be source of happiness for impersonalists, but the personalist keeps his personal individuality like an aquatic in the ocean. So you see the same words from Bhagavad Gita, words that were spoken by Sri Krishna, can be understood in different ways. If we want to understand Krishna's words according to Krishna's will, If we want to understand his message as it is, then we have to read Bhagavad Gita as it is. And then in this Bhagavad Gita as it is, we can find Srila Prabhupada's purport, where it is written that Vishate Tadanantaram means that you enter in spiritual abode of Krishna, you enter Goloka Vrindavana, or you enter Vaikuntha Loka, and then you serve there, you serve Supreme Lord, Shri Krishna. But this impersonalist understanding is such that you're just merging in the ocean of impersonal Brahman. And you lose your individuality, and you lose your consciousness, and so on and so on. So if we want to contemplate on the verses of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam properly, then we have to take message of Sri Guru Parampara. We have to take their way of explanation of these verses from Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, we will be bewildered and we will be lost. So this process of contemplation helps one to understand this spiritual message deeply and to get some new details. Like, for example, here on this picture you can see, like, Srila Sanatana Goswami is instructed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are sitting at Varanasi, and Sanatana Goswami taking instructions from Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it is a natural situation when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives some basics of spiritual knowledge to Sanatana Goswami, to Rupa Goswami, and so on. Or like for example, Brahmaji, he gives basics of knowledge to Naradaji, and then Naradaji is about to expand this knowledge. He writes Narada Bhakti Sutra, right? Ram Prakash Agarwal, right? Narada Bhakti Sutra, we have this book, which contains instructions given by Narada Muni. Why Narada Muni gave these instructions? Because he was instructed by Lord Brahma to expand the knowledge that Narada Muni took from Brahma. So it is natural that the next chain of disciplic succession, this chain takes knowledge from the previous chain, and then this new chain can expand this knowledge. Like for example, Sanatana Goswami was instructed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to write Hari Bhakti Vilasa. Hari Bhakti Vilasa, this few volumes book, which contains knowledge about Vaishnava culture, about Vaishnava etiquette, and so on and so on. And but Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, he gave just 8 verses of Shri Shri Shikshashtaka. Cheto Darpana Marjanam, Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam, Shriyah Kairava Chandrika, Vitaranam Vidya Vadu Jivanam, and so on and so on. He gave just 8 verses. And 6 Goswamis, what they did, they expanded this knowledge. And how they expanded this knowledge? Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave them understanding of what they should read, what they should write about, he gave them some guidance about what topics should be covered in their books. And then 6 Goswamis, they were studying sacred scriptures written by previous acharyas, and they compiled different books like Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, or different Sandarbhas like Paramatma Sandarbha or Krishna Sandarbha and other Sandarbhas. Sandarbha means compilation, means some compendium of different shlokas on particular subject matter. So this process of expanding of spiritual knowledge goes by studying what previous acharyas have written, and it also goes by mercy of Krishna, because Krishna gives some realizations, some spiritual realizations in heart of sincere follower, and then this sincere follower can take this knowledge given by Supreme Lord himself, and he can also use it in his writings. So it is called Nididhyasanam. And in our case, because we are not Rupa Goswami and we are not Sanatana Goswami, what is our position? We can just approach our seniors and we can ask, what is the meaning of this verse from Bhagavad Gita 4.34, or for example 7.7, or other verses? What is the meaning? And then our respected senior Vaishnavas will share some realizations with us. Realizations based on what they have heard from spiritual masters, based on their practical experience, their experience of life, and so on and so on. And then if we will approach few senior devotees and asking them the same question, then we can make our understanding of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam deeper and deeper. Means Nididhyasanam, we are asking ourselves, what is the meaning of this particular verse for me? How I can use it in my life? How I can implement in my life? And it is normal Vaishnava tradition to approach seniors and to ask them about their understanding of such and such particular verses from sacred scriptures. So we have in Moscow, under Moscow, we have Brahmachari Ashrama, Bhaktivedanta Brahmachari Ashrama, which was founded by, established by His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaja. So it is normal when some new devotees, new bhaktas, are asked to give Srimad Bhagavatam class, morning Srimad Bhagavatam class, first time. So it is normal for them, and it is recommended for them to approach seniors, to approach other senior brahmacharis and other people who are more experienced, and to have a talk. What does it mean? What this shloka means? What this statement means? And so on and so on. And then, if this new bhakta approached different senior devotees, then it is guaranteed that when he will be giving class, he will be giving bona fide understanding, bona fide explanation. It is guaranteed, well, it is 99.99% guaranteed, because there is some scope for speculation also, right? For some kind of speculation. But anyway, it is almost guaranteed that this lecture will be authoritative lecture. It will be normal. It will go nicely. It is guaranteed. So the process of Nididhyasana means that if I want to contemplate on Bhagavad Gita, it is not sufficient just to go to bookshop and to buy Bhagavad Gita without any purports. There are such Bhagavad Gitas where there is no any purports, there is no any explanations. It is not the best solution. It is much more better to go to ISKCON temple and to buy Bhagavad Gita as it is, with proper purports. And then, by reading these purports, one can understand the meaning of Bhagavad Gita. Then the next stage, the last stage of this process of studying sacred scriptures comes, and this stage is called Kirtanam. Kirtanam means speaking or sharing knowledge with others. And actually, it is our way when we are trying to repay our debt to our spiritual master. It is said that if we have got mercy from our spiritual master, if he explained us meaning of Bhagavad Gita, of Srimad Bhagavatam, we cannot repay. We are eternal debtors of our spiritual master. Moreover, Chinakya Pandit, he told that one is eternal debtor of his spiritual master, even if he has got the explanation of one letter from sacred scriptures, not even one line, not even one page, but one letter. If meaning of one letter is explained, then we became eternal debtors of our spiritual master. We cannot repay our debt. But at the same time, Srila Prabhupada says that we cannot repay, but at the same time, we should try to repay. And these endeavors are recommended. And how we can try to repay? We can try to repay by sharing this knowledge with others. We have got some kind of taste for spiritual life, and now our debt is to preach or to help those who are preaching. It depends on our qualification. Some people are qualified to preach, they are fully prepared for preaching, and some people are not so much mature, but at the same time, anyway, they can take part in this preaching mission, they can help somehow. Anyway, Kirtana means that we are speaking or sharing knowledge with others, and it is the part of our spiritual life, like it is said in Bhagavad Gita in 10th chapter, verse number 9. So this verse 10.9, it is part of so-called Chatushloki of Bhagavad Gita. Chatushloki means that we have the whole Bhagavad Gita, but at the same time the essence of this Bhagavad Gita is explained in 4 verses: 10.8, 10.9, 10.10, and 10.11. In these 4 verses, the essence of Bhagavad Gita is given. So verse 10.9 gives goes like this: Matchita Madgata Prana Bodhayantah Parasparam Kathayanta Shamam Nityam Tushyanti Chara Manticha. So here it is explained like devotees, they share this spiritual knowledge with each other, and they take pleasure from this process. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So it is the way for us to get satisfaction and bliss. There are different ways to get satisfaction. For example, we can take part in Kirtan, we can chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And if it goes like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, we already can feel some satisfaction or bliss. But at the same time, we can feel bliss if we enlighten one another, or if we're conversing about Krishna. And Kirtanam stage, Kirtanam process, it doesn't always mean that we have to gather big audience and to tell to this big crowd, to tell to this big audience about Krishna. People, listen me attentively. Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is well-wisher of everyone, and so on and so on. No, we don't need big crowds. There can be a big crowd, but this process of Kirtanam can be practiced in both ways. It can be practiced when big crowd or big audience is here, but at the same time, it can be practiced like this. It can be practiced like, for example, we are speaking with one devotee, one more devotee, or 2 more devotees, or 3 more devotees. Anyway, Kirtanam is Kirtanam, and we have many examples in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavata, Chaitanya Mangala. We have many examples where it is explained, described, like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was speaking with Sanatana Goswami only, or Rupa Goswami only, or Ramananda Rai only. And anyway, Kirtanam is Kirtanam. It is normal to discuss Krishna Katha with big audience and to discuss the same Krishna Katha with few devotees. Anyway, it gives pleasure and it gives bliss. And this process is so important, is very important. That's why this process is mentioned here in Chatushloki of Bhagavad Gita in this verse number 10.9. 10.9. Also, we have verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.3.30, where it is said that one should learn how to associate with the devotees of the Lord by gathering with them to chant the glories of the Lord. This process is most purifying. As devotees thus develop their loving friendship, they feel mutual happiness and satisfaction. And by thus encouraging one another, they are able to give up material sense gratification, which is the cause of all suffering. So this process of kirtanam, it is our attempt to repay this debt to our spiritual master, which actually one cannot repay, but anyway we should try, even while knowing that it is not possible to repay. Anyway, Srila Prabhupada, he says that it is recommended at least to put some endeavors to repay. It is a bona fide method. You put these endeavors and you know that it is not possible to repay, but anyway it is part of our spiritual life. And if we are doing this, then we get happiness, then we get satisfaction, then we are trying to repay this debt, which one cannot repay, and also we are able to give up material sense gratification, which is the cause of all suffering. How it works? It works according to the process which is described in Bhagavad Gita. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinach rasovarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Means that the inferior taste for material sense gratification can be defeated, can be ruined by power of higher taste. In our case, it is the taste of spiritual life, the taste of Krishna Katha. Krishna Katha is always Krishna Katha. You can gather big stadium and you can speak to dozens of thousands of people. You can tell them about Krishna. If you have particular skills and if you have this guna karma to gather big crowd, because some people they can do it, some people they don't. And some people, they can speak in small groups. It depends on one's qualification. It depends on one's guna karma, prarabdha karma. But anyway, Krishna Katha is always Krishna Katha. It is always transcendental activity. So Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya, he explains that this process of kirtanam is based on what? On writing practice. Writing practice. We have this lecture which was given by Srila Prabhupada in Los Angeles in 1972. This is lecture on Brahma Samhita, verse number 32. And here Srila Prabhupada, he explains how one can get realizations, spiritual realizations, and how one can collect these realizations. Realization means you should write. You should write. Every one of you, what is your realization? What for this Back to Godhead is, Back to Godhead, this magazine is. You write your realization, what you have realized about Krishna. That is required. It is not passive. Always you should be active. Whenever you find time, you write. Never mind 2 lines, 4 lines, but you write your realization. Shravanam, Kirtanam, writing or offering prayers, glories, that is one of the function of the Vaishnava. You are hearing, but you have to write also. Then write means smaranam, remembering what you have heard from your spiritual master, from the scripture. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoh, about Vishnu, not for others. Don't write any nonsense thing for any nonsense man. Use this waste of time. Write about Vishnu. This is cultivation of Krishna consciousness. Here, write, remember, try to understand. Don't be dull-headed. Be very intelligent. Without being very intelligent, nobody can have full Krishna consciousness. That is for the most intelligent man. So how we can make our intelligence sharp? How we can sharpen our intelligence? We can do it by mercy of this process of regular reading Srila Prabhupada's books. We can read these books, we can take notes, we can share this knowledge, and Srila Prabhupada explains here in this quote that the predestination of Back to Godhead magazine is that a devotee, he has got some realization, and then he can write an article to this Back to Godhead magazine. And in such way, he is about to learn how to express his thoughts in proper way, in written form. It is one point. And another point, it is the process of kirtanam. He has got some realization, and now he is about to share this Krishna Katha with others on the pages of Back to Godhead magazine. But anyway, if someone is not a journalist of Back to Godhead magazine, anyway, he can have some notes, he can have this some diary, and he can take some notes in his diary, what I have realized yesterday, today, day after today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and so on and so on. We can write down our realizations, because the experience is that if you don't write down your realizations, you will forget your realizations. You have to write down your realizations in notebook, and then you can share these realizations with others, and it will be the process of kirtanam. This process of kirtanam, not just for lecturing, it is also for nourishing of our spiritual life. It is not the best situation when we read Srila Prabhupada's books only because we have to be prepared for the class, and it is the only reason to read Srila Prabhupada's books. We read Srila Prabhupada's books to prepare ourselves for classes that we have to give, and also we read these books to nourish our spiritual life. There are two reasons for this process of reading Srila Prabhupada's books. And when we are practicing this kirtanam process, when we share what we have read from Srila Prabhupada's books or what we have realized from these books, then it goes like circle. It means from this stage of kirtanam, we go back to the stage of shravanam, then padhanam, then mananam, then nididhyasanam, then kirtanam again. It means what? That we we expand glories of Krishna by doing this kirtanam, by sharing this knowledge, this realization, this inspiration, this taste with others. And when we share this inspiration, we also become more inspired to practice Krishna consciousness and to read these books. And that's why it goes like circle. These stages, these 5 stages, Shravanam, Padhanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, and Kirtanam, it goes again, because we have got some more inspiration to follow this process. It means that this process of studying, reading Srila Prabhupada's books and sharing knowledge from these books, this process is beneficial for ourselves, and this process is beneficial for those who are around us. This process is all beneficial. And why this process is all beneficial? The answer is very simple. Srila Prabhupada gives this answer in another class on Brahma Samhita, which he gave in Bombay in 1973. The answer is, any literature you can take in the history of the world, no literature can exist for 5,000 years, repeatedly being read by many, many scholars, religionists and philosophers. Why? Because it is Krishna. These books are not different from Krishna. So let's pay attention to Krishna. If we are respectful and attentive to these books, it means that we are attentive to Krishna. If we chant holy names attentively, means we are attentive to Krishna, and it is expression of our love for Krishna. We are not on bhava stage or prema stage, but on our level, this expression of love for Krishna, it means to be attentive to holy name and to be attentive to the books. Just let's be able to find some time in our tough schedule. Let's be able to find some time for reading, for chanting, and it will satisfy Krishna very much. It will satisfy Srila Prabhupada, it will satisfy our spiritual master. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And now, if you have some questions, please ask these questions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Thank you very much,
Hare
Guruji,
Krishna.
for the wonderful lecture. Devotees are requested to kindly ask if you have any question. You can ask. You can raise your hand, and one by one we can ask our question.
Amit Kumar Prabhu Ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, from yesterday lecture, I have one question.
Yes, please.
Prabhuji, yesterday in the lecture you are explaining about how, if we progress spiritually, it will help our family member and our colleagues and society also. So Prabhuji, how can we understand this? If I progress in a spiritual path, then it will help my family and my other colleagues also.
Well, there are two ways to answer on this question. The first one is that because there is such kind of subtle connections between relatives, it means that if we purify our karma, if we purify our existence, then their existence in subtle way also become purified. How it works? It is not visible. It is not visible. We cannot see karma vasana of our relatives. Karma vasanas means how do we call it? The reservoir of their karma. We cannot see this, we cannot feel it with our gross material senses. But anyway, according to Shastra, it works like this. This phenomena of how our spiritual life influences on our relatives is described in 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. I wasn't feeling on my mic. It's fine. Okay, Hare Krishna. It is explained in 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, like Prahlada Maharaj, he is praying to Nrisimhadev. He is saying, please purify me. And, please purify my father. Please purify my father from his sinful reactions. And Nrisimhadev, he says that there is no need to purify Hiranyakashipu because he is your father and you are pure devotee, so he is already purified. Actually, Hiranyakashipu is purified not only because Prahlada Maharaj is his son, but also because Nrisimhadev has touched Hiranyakashipu's body, and it also helped Hiranyakashipu to become purified. Everything which is touched by Supreme Lord becomes immediately and completely purified. So this phenomena is described and confirmed in 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So how we can understand? It is your question, Amit Kumar Prabhuji. The first way how we can answer is we cannot understand, we can just accept according to the scripture. But at the same way, in some cases we can understand. In some cases we can understand because in some cases it just influences slightly and subtly, in subtle way, on the destiny, on our relatives, and we cannot see the effect immediately. We cannot see effect immediately in some cases. But in some cases, especially if a practicing devotee is living in the same house or in the same flat with his relatives, and somehow these relatives become favorable to Krishna consciousness. And you can see like they change their habits and they change their lifestyle and so on. In some cases, this purification process goes very easily. And in some cases, it goes in an invisible way. In Nectar of Devotion, there is one verse from Hari Bhakti Sudadaya, which is quoted there. And in this verse, it is said that living entity is like a crystal. He is like a crystal in the sense that living entity reflects the qualities of other living entities who are around them. So the same way, this phenomena of reflection, it can take place in some cases. Someone became Krishna consciousness or someone has started his spiritual life, and then their relatives or some of these relatives, if they are favorable and if their qualities allow them to accept it, then they gradually, or in some cases not even gradually, but immediately, instantly, they take to Krishna consciousness and they follow the spiritual life. And in some cases they don't accept immediately and they are not favorable. In some cases they are inimical, but anyway, they cannot avoid this purifying effect of bhakti yoga which you are practicing. Just because they are your relatives, it is just question of time and question of Krishna's mercy and of your efforts. How much time it will take for your relatives to become better people. Maybe it will help in this. It will happen in this life. Maybe it will happen next life. Maybe it will happen after a few lives. But anyway, we should know that we're influencing on their lives. The same way, you can take the opposite example. For example, there is a family, and ordinary family, but we don't know why one of members of this family decided to commit crime, serious crime, for example, murder of someone. And as you can easily understand, previously it was ordinary family, and now there is a family, and one of the members of this family is crime person, and the whole family can feel the burden of this ugra karma, which is committed just by one person, but now the whole family feels like their collective karma has changed. What you can say here? So the same way, just one person has started to practice Krishna consciousness, which is a really powerful method, and so much transformational method, transformates like anything. So it influences on others, of course. Okay, any other
Thank you.
questions? Any other questions? Rekha Sinha Mataji, she raised her hand, then she decided not to raise her hand.
Hare
Anyway,
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat
yeah,
Pranam.
yes, if you have a question, please ask the question.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you so much, and we really relished all the Shravanam, Kirtanam, and other things which we are supposed to do to become a devotee, Prabhuji. I have a very practical question over here, which every day we face. Like we are surrounded by neighbors and many other people, but no, with goodwill they give us their so-called prasadam, and if at all they have some rituals like Shraddh and other things, they all try to give us and their this one prasad. So we cannot deny also, and how is that we have to take it, because somewhere, as we have heard, that it affects our moods and bhava and other things. So Prabhuji, can you help us out with this regard, because this is happening in day to day life, and what do we do with that prasad, or should we consume, or what is the way that it can be taken? Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna, Hare Krishna. First of all, you please explain what category of people you are speaking about. I'm not sure that I understood clearly who are these people who are offering you food.
Neighbors and other relatives, for that matter, who are
Ah,
not Krishna consciousness, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
they are not Krishna consciousness. They are just practicing Hindu Dharma
Yes, yes,
in different ways. They are offering this food to different demigods, right? Like this.
yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Well, we are Krishna devotees, or at least we are candidates for becoming Krishna devotees, and our practice is to accept Krishna prasadam only, not Shiva prasadam, not Durga prasadam, Krishna prasadam. So, and because your question is practical, you need practical solution. There is practical solution. There is practical solution. There is one sannyasi in ISKCON, and his name is Chandramauli Swami Maharaj. Chandramauli Swami Maharaj. And once he met one drunkard on the street, and this drunkard somehow he have heard Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and Chandramauli Swami he was walking on the street in his sannyasi dress. So that's why this drunkard understood that this person belongs to Hare Krishna movement, and this drunkard decided, let me express my gratitude, and he gave a bottle of wine to this sannyasi, to Chandramauli Swami. And what Chandramauli Swami did, he told him thank you, and then he proceeded a little bit, and then he turned to the corner, and then only when he was able to see that this drunkard is not here, he is not about to see what he is going to do, only after this Chandramauli Swami, he put this bottle of wine in a trash bin. So the same way, we should not make people upset if they insist that we have to accept their food. If they insist, we can tell them that, for example, we have sufficient food in our house, not a problem. But anyway, if they insist, then, well, just out of politeness, we have to accept, and then we put it the same place where this bottle of wine was put. We put it the same place, or we give it to some other people who are not about to practice Krishna consciousness, like this. Bhagavad Gita, verse number 9.26. 26, as far as I remember. Patram pushpam phalam toyam, yume bhaktya prayachhati, tadaham bhaktyu pakritam, ashnami prayatatmanaha. It is direct instruction of Krishna. You offer this to me. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. You offer fruits, water, and other things to me. It is not said that you offer this to Shiva or to Durga. You offer this to me, and I will ashnami. I will eat it. I will accept it. So it is our practice which is prescribed in Bhagavad Gita, and we are trying to follow this.
Thank you so
Okay.
much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranam. I
Hare
got the answer,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Okay, we have some questions in the chat, right? Okay. Some expressions of gratitude. How we can be sincere in devotion. Yash Sharma is asking, is it normal to take coffee? No, better not to take coffee. Coffee is considered to be intoxication. It is slight intoxication, but anyway, it is intoxication. If you want to follow four regulative principles properly, better not to take coffee. If you feel yourself sleepy, just go and sleep, or try to manage with your lifestyle. You try to manage your lifestyle in such way that you don't need to take coffee or any other drink which contains caffeine. Try to do it like this, please try, because it is prescribed for ISKCON devotees to do like this. The same Yash Sharma is asking, sometimes my mom makes food that has onions and garlic. What can I do? Well, you can put this food in the same place where these offerings to Durga and Shiva, and where this bottle of wine goes. But at the same time, better not to make your mom upset. That's why better to learn how to cook. Better if you yourself will learn how to cook nicely for Krishna, and then you will feed your mom with prasadam, and then she will be very much satisfied if you will become good cook. Okay, what else do we have here? Oh, so many questions. Thank you very much for your interest to this class. So many questions. Mushkan Kumari is asking, how can we be sincere in devotion? Well, sincerity in devotion means that we are following the standards of devotion. Means we are following regulative principles, we are following instructions of spiritual master. We took instructions and we are trying to follow all this. And sincerity means that our motive to follow these instructions is not to glorify ourselves, but we are following these instructions according to the reason why we should follow these instructions. Instructions are meant to satisfy Krishna, to satisfy Srila Prabhupada, to satisfy spiritual master. So if we are conscious about the reason why we are following, then it means sincerity is there. And also we can approach some senior people and we can ask them, am I sincere or not? And we can take their feedback. But in this case, we should approach sincere senior people, because if we are able to see sincerity in some particular sincere devotee, if we have faith in this particular person, then we can approach. If there is no faith, then it is useless to approach just because someone is senior. You just approach those in whose words you have faith, and you ask them, am I sincere or not? And what about my qualities and other things? Okay, let's see. Vaidik Avnish Sharma is asking, I had a question regarding philosophy of four sampradayas being different, but now all this all this can be Brahmanic at the same time. Even in Shri and Brahma sampradaya, the philosophy of major concepts differs. How can all lead to perfection, since perfection is one? Krishna, whose qualities has no change, achyuta, then how his philosophy or knowledge is multi-faceted? Means Prabhuji is asking why message of different sampradayas are different, right? Different sampradayas, how it is so that sampradayas give different messages, but at the same time all these four sampradayas are considered to be authoritative, bona fide. Well, Prabhuji, it is achintya. It is Achintya. Krishna is such a person that he can be presented in different ways, but at the same time, it looks like contradictions for our mind, which is how to say, which is conditioned by matter, by materialistic logic and other things. But at the same time, it can be so. Achyuta, he is also Achintya. You are mentioning here, Krishna is Achyuta. But he is Achintya also. How it can be so? On such questions, Srila Prabhupada usually he was giving the simple answer. It is Achintya. When you will reach spiritual abode, then you will understand. And on our stage, well, just accept it. Just if you belong to a particular sampradaya, just follow teachings of your sampradaya. That's all. Spiritual chastity should be there. If you belong to a particular bona fide philosophical school, just follow your school. Just don't run here and there searching for happiness. Happiness is in your sampradaya. If by Krishna's arrangement you belong to particular sampradaya, then follow your sampradaya. What is the problem? And if we are speaking about ISKCON, we have founder Acharya Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, so he gave this spiritual message in particular way, and the ISKCON follower, he follows this message exactly according how it was presented by Srila Prabhupada. And if there is some kind of contradiction between how it was presented by Srila Prabhupada and how it was presented or how it is presented in other sampradayas, if person considers himself to be ISKCON follower, Srila Prabhupada's follower, then he just accepts Srila Prabhupada's presentation of this knowledge. Very easy. This simple process for simple people. Simple process for simple people. We're going further. The next question, question about garlic and onion is already answered. You said that we should meditate on any one line of Srila Prabhupada's books throughout the day. Should I meditate on translation or purport of Srila Prabhupada? Both. Both translation and purport, because purport helps us to understand translation better. How one can become disciplined in his sadhana? By hook or by crook? Well, we have to force ourselves somehow. The first tip is to go to bed in proper time, not to go to bed at 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. Otherwise, it will be difficult for us to wake up 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. We have to sleep sufficiently. Otherwise, we will be sleeping while chanting rounds. So everything starts from how do we call it? From our going to bed in the evening time. And also we have to have some sources of inspiration, means some Krishna Katha through Zoom or online or offline, on site, and so on. We have to have some sources of inspiration for our sadhana from senior devotees who will be explaining us why we should wake up early in the morning and chant our rounds early in the morning, not during the day, but early in the morning. So if we just stick to these two things, early to bed, early to rise, and if we stick to sadhusanga, sarva shastra koi, lavamatra sadhusanga, sarva siddhi hoy, if we stick to these two things, then everything becomes much more easier. Okay. I have a doubt about to initiate, I mean from whom we should initiate. Someone tells that direct from Srila Prabhupada. Oh my God! Don't listen these people. Don't listen these people. Those who say that one can take initiation directly from Srila Prabhupada, it is not according to proper understanding of Vaishnava tradition. Don't follow Ritvikvada philosophy, according to which one can get initiation from Srila Prabhupada's photo. One cannot take initiation from Srila Prabhupada's photo, because in order to get initiation, one should get permission from spiritual master. And Srila Prabhupada's photo never minds about anything. Means in your imagination you can say that any person takes initiation from Srila Prabhupada directly from this photo. Just because photo cannot speak. Photo will not tell you, I'm not going to accept you as my disciple. I'm not going to accept you. It is right of a spiritual master to accept someone and not to accept someone. Initiation can be accepted from living person only, from those who are physically present here. This Ritvikvada philosophy is nonsense, and it contains some element of impersonalism, because it is life becomes so easy when you consider yourself to be initiated by Srila Prabhupada, who will never chastise you because he already left this planet. You can just have this photo and have this idea that you has got initiation from Srila Prabhupada. And it is impersonalism in the sense that it is the attempt to avoid real relationships with spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada is always smiling from his photo. He will never chastise you. But if you accept initiation from living person, then he takes responsibility for your spiritual life, and he can give instructions. Anyway, it is misconception. Don't follow these rascals who say like you can be initiated by Srila Prabhupada directly. And another say from his disciples, I'm so confused, please guide me, OMG, what to do. Well, yes, that's right, you can get initiation from those who are present on this planet. It can be Srila Prabhupada's disciple, or disciple of Srila Prabhupada's disciple. Anyway, it should be bona fide spiritual master who is approved by ISKCON GBC to perform this service, to be spiritual master in ISKCON. And then, of course, it depends on his free will. Is he going to accept you as his disciple or not? Anyway, please take ISKCON disciple course, and as far as you can, I mean as quick as you can, take this ISKCON disciple course, and it will clarify your understanding about guru-disciple relationships. It is very important. You can take this course even now. I mean, you can take it online, you can take it on site. It depends on your circumstances. But anyway, you please take this course, ISKCON disciple course. And anyway, one cannot get initiation in ISKCON without taking ISKCON disciple course. Now we have these rules in ISKCON. Prabhuji, sometimes I don't feel reading books. Well, I also sometimes don't feel reading books. What to do? Just read sometimes books. Sometimes you don't feel, sometimes you feel. We should not be so much concerned about feelings. We should be concerned about duty. Srila Prabhupada gave instruction, you read my books, otherwise you will be in Maya. If you want to be in Maya, then follow your mind and senses. If you don't want to be in Maya, then just try to force yourself to read at least a little bit from Srila Prabhupada's books, at least a little, at least something. My dad gets mad at me so much. It's is it fine if I woke up at 1 a.m.? At 1 a.m.! Oh, he is so exalted person. Yes, Sharma Prabhu Kijai. Yes, Sharma Prabhu Kijai. Is it fine if I woke up at 1 a.m., but Prabhuji, do I have to take a bath? Well, you see, it is really important not to disturb our relatives. If because of that they will be waking up, then better to go to another room where they are not present, and you can just wash your hands and you can wash your face, and you can chant some part of your rounds without taking a full bath, and then you can finish your rounds after. Circumstances allows you to take full bath, you can take full bath, and then you can proceed with your rounds, not a problem. Ritvik system says that Prabhupada never told to get initiated from his disciple Prabhuji. Thank you for your clarification. Hare Krishna. Okay. You see, yes, they say, how they say, because they use particular quotes from Srila Prabhupada. They use one part of quotes and they interpret these quotes in such a way like if Srila Prabhupada was telling like this, but at the same time we have a lot of quotes from Srila Prabhupada where he is saying that his disciples will become spiritual masters, that there will be next generation of spiritual masters. Other quotes we also have, but these quotes are neglected by Ritvikvadis. That is the point, because they also only accept those quotes that support their position. Okay, Prabhuji, my father is not a devotee. I understood that he is not a devotee. Otherwise, he would not become mad. He would be happy. Oh, my son is so exalted. He is waking up at 1 a.m. He would be very happy if he would be devotee. I understood this. Anyway, it is material life. We tolerate each other. Your father is tolerating you. You are tolerating him. When we are in Brahmacharya ashrama, we also tolerate each other. Tolerance is very important. And in Grihastha ashrama, husband is tolerating his wife, and wife is tolerating his husband. Tolerance is very important. We cannot avoid this quality in our day-to-day life. Okay. What it is? It is what? So Prabhuji, if I woke up at 1 a.m., then can I sleep again at 5 to 6 a.m.? Well, you see, if you sleep after this, and the more you sleep, the more you become influenced by lower modes of material nature. That's the point. So this particular period of time from 5 to 6 is much more better to chant holy names in this period of time. And usually in Indian Brahmacharya ashramas, if you have to sleep more, if you have to take some more sleep, usually they do it in period, for example, from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. Like this, about 1 hour in this period of time, 10:30 to 11:30. And but Prabhuji, my dad get mad at me. I don't know what to do with your dad. I don't know. You chant Hare Krishna. You pray to Krishna to help him to become peaceful, and maybe it will help. It will help him. Maybe yes, maybe no. We don't know. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you for your attention. Now. The questions are over, and I'm very grateful to you that you are listening to me, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity to give this class and to answer on your questions. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful session and our answer to our question. So we all will thank Prabhuji by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Dandavat Pranam.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
And आपसे बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. आप लोग यहाँ पे रेगुलर आते हैं और हम लोग साथ में मंगल आरती जप और करते हैं. इस तरह से आप यहाँ पे रेगुलर आते रहिए और भी कोई डिवोटी आपके संपर्क में है तो भी आने के लिए यहाँ पे इन्वाइट कर सकते हैं. इसके साथ हम लोग आज के में विराम देंगे. जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय.
जय
ग्रंथ राज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय.
जय
वेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय.
जय
निताय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. हरि हरि.
Hare
हरि
Krishna.
हरि
Thank you, Prabhuji.
थैंक यू
Hare
डिवोटीज.
Krishna.
हरे
Krishna
कृष्णा.
Prabhuji.
नमस्कार.
Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Pranam.